Hello YouTube, my name is Nick, and today I have some more metal stuff to talk at you with. Got a bunch of stuff here, got 2 vinyl, big old stack of CDs. I'll try not to take too long with this video. It's been a long while since I made a video, way too long of a hiatus this time. Been busy with a lot of life stuff, been busy with work. I recently got married to my wonderful wife. Going pretty well with that. Other than that, it's been lazy, been busy. So now we're here again, so let's get on to it. I'm going to do the vinyl first. This first one is an album I've been pretty obsessed with since I first saw the album artwork. I listened to it once and I was immediately hooked. This is just one of those albums that immediately piqued my interest and has grabbed me this every other listen. This is Ulthar with Cosmovore. Pretty complicated looking artwork here. The best way I could describe this is like if Absu stayed death metal, like from their earlier works, but for real though. Check out this vinyl color. Absolutely marvelous swirl. I bought a lot of vinyl from 20 Buck Spin this year, and all of them have just been pure ecstasy on wax. Yeah, this is just a single fold. Well, I guess no fold at all. Comes with a lyric sheet. This isn't a super long album. I think it's about 40 minutes long, but there is like a 13-minute long song on here. Extraordinarily high quality, just like slightly old school death metal mixed with like a little bit of black metal, mixed with like a little bit of like maybe psychedelic songwriting. Super powerful stuff. I love the vocals. They really remind me of Proscriptor. I don't love it just because it sounds like Absu, but it's a piece to behold. So go and check out Ulthar with Cosmovore on 20 Buck Spin. This next one is another one from 20 Buck Spin. I got introduced to this by my friend of the channel, Pete the Guttural Monk. He was telling me a lot of good stuff about this, and I checked it out, and obviously I loved it. This is Death Velour by Ghastly. Great band picture on the back, epic mustache. But yeah, this is like some old school, gnarly, dirty, but also kind of like inventive death metal. I just want to point out the inside of the jacket is also blue. I love it when they do that. Really great artistic vision for this album. This one also comes on an absolutely marvelous color. This is one of my new favorite colors, especially this side. I mean, give me a break. Stunning. Beyond words. Yeah, this is actually pretty inventive stuff for the genre. You'd think that a genre like old school death metal has been done to death. This is actually like beyond top tier. I listen to this all the time. I bought this on Bandcamp as well, so I have a digital to listen to. But this is just a marvelous album. Really, it does sound old, but it doesn't necessarily feel old. There's a lot of new wave tendencies. Yeah, go check out Death Velour by Ghastly. Freaking marvelous album. For some reason, the jacket fits extremely tight on here. So I'll do that later. So the first CD I have here is one of maybe like top 3 favorite black metal albums of this year. I've actually talked about this band before this year. This is their second full length to come out in 2018, which is just ridiculous. But this is Inhuma by S. Archrillium. This is on I Void Hanger, Spider Lady. I talked about their last album, Pandemorphium, ad nauseum. And this is almost heads above that album. There are a lot of things I loved about Pandemorphium, but the things that I liked about that album were done in like little chunks and uh, maybe just moments and pieces here and there, where this album takes all of those pieces and just makes a full album out of it. So I almost like this strictly more than that album, although it's not like the last album is beyond or is without merit. This is a little bit shorter. It's about 55 minutes, I think. But every song on here has tons of value. And even some of the later songs, like The Last Age of Unk and Lost in the Storm of Ishka Blood, have some like really unique like uh like string arrangements. Like I think it's the sixth song has like I don't know if it's like super duper fast violin playing or like some kind of distortion on top of it, but it sounds really spooky. And it almost kind of replaces the guitars at some points where there's so much string action going on where the guitars just like don't exist and you can hardly even notice because it's so well written. And let me tell you something about the drumming. Uh, Probably my favorite drum performance on a black metal album is Hans Grossman on that album right there, uh, Liber Lucifer. This is pretty darn close. I don't want to make assumptions here, but I feel like he was dominant on the drums on the last album, like he learned the drums first or something, because I believe this is a one-man band. But the drums and the guitars have caught up to each other on this album. I mean, I could be wrong. It just felt like the drums were way more masterful. But yeah, drums and guitars, amazing riffs, ultra creative, like black and death metal. It kind of rides the line, honestly, between black and death metal. This is much more black metal, where the last album was much more death metal, I think. Yeah, go check out Es Hoc Trollohum. Absolutely marvelous album. This next one here is one I've had for a long time, and I've just keep forgetting to talk about this. This is one of my favorite splits I've ever listened to, and also has a really amazing artistic style. But this is the split between, let's see here, Dehumanizing Ida Worship and Cheerleader Concubine, with the Divine Union of Serrated Flesh. This is just as ridiculous as it looks. It's anime themed, brutal death metal, slam, whatever the heck you want to say. Maybe a little bit of grind. I've never heard of Dehumanizing Ida Worship before, but they have to be like one of the heaviest bands I've ever listened to. I really, really like Cheerleader Concubine. I've talked about their last album. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Tentacle Induced something or other. But this split is totally fabulous. I probably do prefer the Ida side. The production is just so thick and meaty, and the creativity on this album is second to none almost. It's so, I don't want to say funny, but it's like, it's not serious, if that makes sense. But it's also like super duper high quality songwriting and production, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you like brutal death metal, check this out. Mandatory listening. This next one, I'm going to talk about just for a little bit. I was kind of disappointed. I'm still hesitant on the word I'm going to use here, but it was not what I was expecting entirely. This is the new Black Tongue, entitled Nadir. Black Tongue are mostly known for being like soul-crushingly stupid heavy. And this band has had that history for a long time. They have some of the most expensive CDs and vinyls out of like all of heavy metal, I feel like, especially some of their stuff that was on Total Deathcore, Born Hanged and Falsifier. But this album kind of takes a step in another direction where the production is not nearly as overwhelmingly heavy, and this almost goes towards like a more blackened side like a lot of deathcore bands are doing. I don't know if I'd say these guys are necessarily deathcore, but this is not super fuzzy and like speaker blasting as it used to be. It's much more toned down. I really enjoy the songwriting on this album, especially the cover of A Dying God coming into human flesh. That was kind of unexpected. I didn't look at the track list before I bought this. I just bought it because it's Black Tongue. Yeah, anyways, I don't know how I feel about this yet. I like it, but I don't love it. So this next one here is a band that has always been near and dear to my heart. I've seen these guys live more than any other band. This is Algorithm by Beyond Creation. This is the Digi version that came with the box. But yeah, this is absolutely their best album. If you disagree, then you're wrong. I'm sorry. This is extremely experimental for their sound. Much different than anything I would have expected. I felt like the last album was a little too smooth sounding, and this gave some of the edge back to their songwriting. A lot more progressive and more like tertiary songwriting and instrumentation. Every song on this album has a ton of merit, and this might be my favorite drum performance of the year. This or the Eslak Trillium album. The drummer for this band, I have seen him so many times because I've seen them live so many times. I feel like I could spot him out of a crowd of 1 million people. He's just like an insane possessed drum goblin on this album. Super ultra creative drums, just blows it out of the water. Yeah. Algorithm by Beyond Creation. If you don't like Beyond Creation, then you're wrong. This next album I have been looking for a long time, and I found it on Discogs for an extremely reasonable price, and it is in marvelous condition, and it is also signed by a band member. This is Horrific by Bukkake. This is maybe the most fun death metal album ever made. The drumming, the guitars, the vocals, the samples, the hidden track that's like a 5-minute long folk song. Just absolutely destructive, horrible, fast, grinding, brutal death metal that just melts your face off. This is all you can think about. This is you while you're listening to it, and this is the album in your head. I mean, give me a break, guys. If you love brutal death metal and you don't know about this album, then go do yourself a favor, click off this video immediately, and go look up Horrific. This is one of my favorite death metal albums ever. And I did not have a copy of this until now, and it is also signed. So, how about that? Great album. This last album I'm going to show you here is one that has been getting a lot of praise, and for good reason in my opinion. This is the new side, entitled Heir to Despair. Great album. Extremely experimental, obviously. I'm not going to say too much about this. Kind of running out of time here. But the Heresy 1, 2, and 3 songs are fabulous. Some people are hating them. I love them. This is possibly my favorite album, besides Insomniphobia. But that's going to be the end of this video. Sorry it was kind of rushed at the end. And I'll see you next time. Oh.